Hello everyone, welcome to Ripple Funnel Tuesday, where I'll be analyzing a full marketing funnel in the three main steps, from the ad copy and the offer down to the landing pages and all the automations that company has sent to try to turn me from a lead to a paying customer. I'll dive deep into the copy, the effectiveness and layout of the landing page, the ad strategy, so you can get inspired to build your next successful marketing funnel. Today's case study is Collision Conference. So if you are in the events business, conference business, this is a great inspiration for you, and it will take about 10 minutes for you to analyze this funnel with me. So let's get started. I found Collision on Facebook. So their ad looked something like this. It says, we're selecting top startups from South Carolina to be part of an alpha or startup program. So it seems that geo-targeting by state, which is a great strategy, because it's more relevant to me. It's speaking directly to my current state and where I am. Then they have a 30-second video, which I think was well produced. Nothing too crazy, just mashup of different shots and videos, talking about the conference, showing all the different actions and how busy it was and so on. So I think they put together a decent video to kind of explain what the event is about, and I think this is pretty common when it comes to running ads for an event like this one. So the ad itself is straightforward. It can be recycled for different purposes, and that's important. It wasn't just South Carolina targeting in terms of the video copy. Only the ad copy was targeting South Carolina. So that means you can use the same creative and launch it across different ad sets or different ad copies without having to change a lot. Okay. Now here it says startup from South Carolina, apply for Alpha Collision. So the offer here is an application to their Alpha program as a startup, perhaps to pitch or to get some discounted booth rates or something of that sort. Now, once I click on apply now, it didn't take me to the page. So their strategy in this lead gen process was actually a Facebook lead form. As you can see, I have a little bit more details. I click next. It shows some extra description. You'll be selected. Your startup will showcase 3 days with the opportunity to access investors, startup university, workshops, pitch, and much more. All right, great. So they're giving some sort of a visibility. But obviously the end goal here is to speak to me and sell me on a booth. This is just a free offer along the way to get me interested. And if not interested in any of this, perhaps to buy a ticket to attend that event. Now, after I clicked next, I got pre-filled form from Facebook, which is pretty convenient. And that was it. So I stayed on the Facebook panel. I didn't have to leave to their website. And view website was the last step. So that means they didn't quite need a landing page, which is why once I clicked on view website, it actually took me to their main homepage. No UTM tagging, no references. Whether this is good or bad, I think this is up to the person running the ad. I would definitely have appended some UTMs to understand if leads are flowing from the ad to the landing page and how they're behaving on that front. Okay. Now, let's look at the page, the home page real quick. Although this is not really the typical analysis of a landing page, but it's worth looking at me engaging. So here, I love their branding. I think it's straight on point. They've always done well here. And the main CTAs are partner with us and book a ticket. Now, unlike a landing page where you would remove all the distractions and the navigation, they still have their main menu here. So I cannot say they should have removed it, but from a landing page strategy perspective, we always recommend removing any clutter from the top. Now, this is following a typical splash page for an event or homepage for an event, from buying tickets to what people are saying in social proof, the lineup of the speakers, get more on the Collision schedule, so to speak. And this is obviously another lead magnet form. And as you progress, they're just trying to convince you with some cool things and trailers. So overall, I think it's a very solid homepage for an event. And if you want to get inspiration, go to Collision Conference website, which is collisionconf, stopping at the f.com. Okay, they do have a chat utility, so if you want to speak to an expert, and the form is right there. So the main CTAs is booking a ticket, or being a partner with them, which could be in form of a speaker and you have to pay, maybe a sponsor, or some other options. All right, now let's look at the third step, which is the automations or all the follow-ups that I received from them. I did not receive any SMS. I did not receive any phone calls. I did get retargeted on Facebook again. But overall, it wasn't, I would say, a full-on, top of the funnel, middle, bottom of the funnel kind of retargeting. It was a very straightforward, same video and the same ad. Now let's look at their 5 emails. Over the course of 2 weeks, just 5 emails sent to me. The first one was, thanks for applying. Then your application at Alpha, and you can see they're coming up from just a generic name. And then this moved on to be sent from an actual person on the team, a salesperson, a rep. And that's where we always recommend personalizing the sender. Make it a person versus just a generic name. Now, in terms of the subject line, thanks for applying, your application, collision 22, invitation for a call, reminder, and one more reminder. So overall, nothing too crazy. It's just the standard, old boring subject lines. Not much personalization going on, except here you can see they personalized the pre-header. So that's to the extent that they went. Okay. So I wouldn't give them too much in terms of credit on the subject line and pre-headers. They could have stood out by personalizing the subject line itself, adding an emoji, but they kept it pretty straightforward. Let's look at the content together. This is the content of the first email confirming my application. So from Facebook, they sent my information to their own internal system, and they're using their own internal email platform, which I couldn't find any fingerprints right here. So if I show original, I just saw like a Google sender header. Okay. You can see it right here. So they might be using their own kind of Amex records from their Gmail account. I cannot really dive deeper to tell you. Now the copy itself, again, just a confirmation and how they could use data science to connect us as startups to investors, key benefits for us joining the conference, read more from the blog, and so on. So it's quite standard. The CTAs are weak in my opinion. I like the key benefits, and they do have everything covered on the bottom from their spam compliance perspective. Now, no personalization here. I would love to see my name somewhere, but they only did it in the pre-header. Now, we recommend not using no reply and try to have someone we can reply back to. In this case, it did not do it. It's just a no reply altogether. Now, the second email shifts to centered, although they should have stuck to the same format, ideally. They removed the compliance on the footer, which is a big no-no. I definitely would have liked to continue seeing my unsubscribe options. And in this case, I believe they moved to their own Mandrill. So whatever system they use on the first confirmation, going out of Facebook, then they moved to Mandrill. So perhaps they connected 2 or 3 systems together to flow my lead information. Okay. Now here it says, thank you for applying. We'll be reaching out. Until then, read our blog. Okay. And then below, some things to note and FAQs. Okay, it's solid content. If I am actually interested in this. Now moving on to the salesperson outreach from Margarita. Margarita did not use the plain old one-to-one type of email that's without design and stuff. She just did it in a template fashion. So it's not really speaking directly to me. Although she personalized, it definitely looks templated. Schedule a call, which takes me to a calendar link, and no unsubscribe on the bottom. So I would have expected for sure to see an unsubscribe, but they actually did not include it, which was a shock to me. Okay. Collision has been around for quite some time, so understanding compliance should have been embedded and integrated here. Margarita, again, sending me information. We have a high number of participants. I want to make sure you can join us. I'm interested, join here. Again, her calendar. And finally, that's the last email I received. Here's another calendar. So I don't know if having 3 emails with the same exact tone work. And, maybe changing it up a little bit, making it one-to-one, adding some more resources, personalized video. There are some great ideas here to beef up the effectiveness of this email. Now, perhaps they're targeting startups, and perhaps they didn't put too much thought into it because of the end goal of this program, and they might have some other outreach that's a little bit more involving. But overall, I feel like this is lacking. Their email automation is semi-useless, and I would give on the entire funnel, end to end, anywhere from between 6 and 6.5, because the ad was good, but not enough retargeting and different funnel stages. The middle of the funnel, no landing pages, so I cannot speak much to that, but I do like their homepage, and their follow-up automation was super weak in my opinion. This is it, guys. I hope you got some ideas from Collision Funnel. If you like this content, like, share, or simply leave us a comment. I would love to hear your feedback, and I'll see you on an upcoming segment. Thank you.